Good morning and welcome to day number 4 of our daily lives. Today is day number 26. I'm sorry about the dogs outside. There's nothing I can do about it, but I hope that you don't hear it too much. Today is day number 26 of the war, and I've been coming every day live because I feel that this is the support that I can provide to entrepreneurs and small business owners in these times where it's difficult to focus, it's difficult to concentrate, it's difficult to go about our day as if everything was back to normal. Nothing is back to normal. We're still in the middle of a war on many fronts. We have the geographical fronts, of course, the south of Israel, the north of Israel, but we also have the economy front. And the economy front is the front that we small business owners carry when we stop our business or when we continue our business. And that's why I felt that it was a very important thing to come in this group. And by the way, those daily lives are streamed on in our global network Facebook group, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. And I'm sharing the links to the replays to those of you who cannot make it at 10 a.m. I want to say two things. First of all, yes, it is important because of the economy front to continue with our business. However, as I say every day, some of you may not be ready for this. Some of you may need more time, may also have personal obligations, whether it's loved ones or people that you know that are involved in the war, and that needs your care and your self-compassion. So I'm always saying that those lives are here for you if you are ready to refocus on your business. But if you're not ready, you can always come back to it. The links will be here and you can start it whenever you're ready. And I've built those lives in a way that it would be better for you if we start from day one, because there is a progression on how do we protect first ourselves and how we go to dive in our business. That is the first reminder that I want to make sure that everyone who doesn't feel ready to refocus on their business takes the time to take care of themselves, take care of their loved ones, have self-compassion, and at least take care of themselves. That's what I say. At least just take care of yourself, of your physical health and your emotional health. And the second thing is that, again, I'm saying this every day because it's really, really important, and we see this every day, unfortunately, more and more, that there is another front, I should say. When I said there's the geographical front, there's the economy front, and there is the anti-Semitic front around the world. And our sisters from the global network, our Jewish women entrepreneurs, and all Jewish people around the world who are facing anti-Semitic attacks around the world. We hear about really very disturbing things that we hear from the US, from the UK, from in Europe, in France. It's in Spain. We hear so many things that means that we here in Israel are facing a war, but the Jewish people as a whole is really facing so much more around the world, in Israel and around the world. And so that's why it's very important for me to say that I come live at 10 a.m. because I want to support Israeli small business owners. But it doesn't mean that I don't speak to also the Jewish women entrepreneurs from all around the world who are also being impacted and affected by what's happening. And that's why I'm sharing the links of the previous days so that you can join, even if you come later, even if your time zone doesn't allow it. I would love for you, when you come live, to type your name and your what you do in your business, where you're from. And also, like I said, I'm always here to answer specific questions that you have on your business, whether it's a question on what to sell or how to promote or how to get more clients. Whatever is the question that is bothering you right now, you can either type it in the chat and I will answer it at the end of the live. Or if it's not during the live and you watch the replay, just tag me and I will reply in the when I see your tag. So just as a reminder of what we did the past few days. Day number one, we spoke about the importance of looking at your day. We're going day by day. We're not looking at weeks or months. We're just going day by day to look at your day as a project and to divide your day in blocks of times and make sure that you include everything you need to do in those blocks of time, right? So we spoke about including your personal needs, your being there with your loved ones, self-care, sleeping, eating. And one of those blocks of time can be, if you're ready for it, business, right? So we don't want to say, okay, now I'm back to refocusing. I'm going to work from 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever is your regular times of work. It's going to be hard for our brain to focus. We have so many things going on. Our mind is full of things that we see, we watch, we hear, and our heart is so full of what we feel with everything that's happening, not only the war, but everything that's happening. So we can't expect to have a few hours like regular from 8 to 5. However, if you, and this was my suggestion, to look at your day either in the morning, if you can, or in the evening before, and to make a list of everything you have to do, whether it's helping out, volunteering, taking care of your kids, of your loved ones, sending messages, taking care of everything that you have to do, cooking, sleeping, and then creating blocks of time. And my tip for you was to do everything, but just to do it in smaller chunks of time, right? So if you want to volunteer, don't volunteer 4 hours. Find a way to volunteer the amount of time that you can afford with everything else that you have to do. So you have to fit in. It's like, you have a number of hours and you have to fit in everything that you need to do. That was day number one. Day number two, we did a deep dive into self-care. So one of these blocks of time, one of these chunks of time is going to be taking care of yourself. And again, I know we're talking about refocusing on business, and you may expect me to go straight into marketing and strategy and business, but we can't. We need to take care of ourselves first. We are the engine of our business. And so we can't just go ahead and dive into business. So before we dive into business, we have to put all of this around us and make sure that we're safe. And one of the blocks of time needs to be every day your self-care. Whether it's taking a nap, whether it's cooking healthy food, whether it's going to sleep early, whether it's exercising. There are things that your body needs that if you're not giving that to your body, or emotional support, or talking to a friend, those become action items or tasks of your business. Like, don't look at them as, oh, now I'm not doing my business. When you're taking care of yourself, this is a task in your business, right? This is just if you had a to-do list, and the first task is taking care of myself. So on day number two, we spoke really deeper, and you can watch the recording on what it means to take care of yourself and how to do it. On day number three, which was yesterday, we spoke about the importance of routines. Again, it's creating a structure. Again, before we dive in the business, how to look at our day, how to prepare ourselves, how to be ready. Now, routine is something that is very important usually. And you know me, for those of you who know me, I speak about that all the time. And for entrepreneurs, especially, because for those of you who work from home or work by yourself, you need to have some kind of structure. What time do I start? What time do I end? What do I do before? What do I do after? Really, really important in general. But now in times of war, we spoke yesterday about how when everything else seems to be out of control and you have control over nothing, having a routine is going to help you really structure your day and make time for everything we said above. Now, we spoke about 2 books, and you can watch the recording again, where you have so many ways to start a routine, but 2 things are really important. One is start small. Just, it could be just start by drinking water every morning, right? Just like this is a small thing. And then the next day you add something. And I shared with you my routine that I restarted just a few days ago, really, to put it back in place, because for 3 weeks I was just not able to do it. And that's okay. Okay, if you're not able to do it, just know that this is the next step. And the second thing that we spoke about was the systems, right? So it needs to be Small, very small, like one thing in your routine. And the second thing is the system, meaning create a system around that routine. So if it's the water before, when you wake up, have a glass of water and a bottle of water next to your bed. By creating the systems, it's going to be much easier for you to be able to do it without thinking. We want to remove the questions from, should I drink water now or should I drink water after? Just remove those questions. We have so much in our mind. Just have that routine. And every day you can add, or every 2 days or every week, you can add something to your routine. That's what we spoke about yesterday. Today, we're going to speak again. Before we dive in, we're starting to touch the business aspect, but you can see how we have many layers of taking care of ourselves and of our time and structuring things around us before we dive into business. And today, we're going to talk about how do we work our circle of influence. So let me explain what I mean by that. Some of you may have heard me when I teach about marketing. I teach about how we are at the center of our circles of influence. So we have 3 circles of influence. We have the first circle, which are the people that we know, whether they're friends or family, or people that we know directly, or clients or past clients or neighbors, whoever we know directly, and we already they already know us, they already know who we are, and they already trust us. And those are our first contact. The second circle of our circle of influence are people that know someone that knows us, right? So they don't necessarily know who we are, but they've heard of us. It could be the friends on Facebook that you never spoke to. It could be an acquaintance that just knows that you exist, but don't really know you and never had a conversation with you. And the third circle is about the people that never heard of you, don't even know who you exist. And when we speak about marketing, we speak about how to grow from the first circle to the third circle. Now, I want to use that framework in the times that we're in right now, where we also need to start from where we are and go wider, right? So I know that one of the temptation, and maybe it happened to you already, we've been 3 weeks in this war, so a lot of things happen in 3 weeks, but to jump on social media and to pour your heart out and say things on social media where you haven't spoken to your neighbor, or you haven't called your cousin, or you haven't spent time explaining to your kids what's happening, right? So I'm not sure how you have to apply it to your situation, but social media is creating this illusion of closeness where we feel that. And it happens to me too, where I feel very comfortable writing a whole post on social media and not necessarily talking to the people around me, right? And sometimes it's about the writing. Sometimes it's easier to write than to speak, and that's okay. But here, because we're business owners and because we have different levels of relationships, we have to go back to basics. We have to make sure that we are really talking to our first circle, that we are checking in with our second circle, and nice to have, our third circle. If we want to post something for people who don't know us, that's fine too. But I want you to reverse. It's not like the more I'm going to be seen, the more important it is. It's the stronger the connection is with the people around you, the more important it is. So let me give you examples in your business, because of course in your personal life, it's up to you who you want to reach out to, but it's the same logic. In our business, for a lot of you, you've been in business many years, and you've had past clients, or you have existing clients, and those should be in your business mind, should be the first people that you reach out to. How are your clients doing? How are your past clients doing? Maybe you have people in your team right now, whether they are in Israel, whether they're Jewish, not Jewish, in Israel or around the world. How are they doing? Are you connecting with them? Are you communicating with them? Are you letting them know what's happening? What about your suppliers? What about your strategic partners? And again, the existing one that you have been talking to until 3 weeks ago on a regular basis, who knew that they can just reach out to you by email or message or whatever. You have to be the one, and maybe you did it in the past 3 weeks, and that's great. But if you haven't, because you've been in states, of frozen and not knowing where to start, I'm starting from the human side of things. Even though have a business and we're selling products or services, we are starting from our human, like who we are as a person, our loved ones that we have to take care of. And then the next is the people that we are in a relationship with before we move on to, do I promote? Do I not promote? What my strategy? Do I do passive income? How do I change my business model? How do I go global? All those are questions in your mind that we need to address, and we will address it. That's my promise to you in this daily lives. But before we go into our fears and our mind, we have to remember that there are people that are in our lives that we have to be in touch with as the leader of our business, or as even not even a leader, just responsible to be in touch with. So my suggestion for today's live is to make a list of all the people that you've been in contact with and to sort them by first circle, second circle, third circle. You may want to do it for your personal contacts. That's up to you. I'm not here to tell you how to manage your personal relationships, whether it's friends or family. My suggestion is yes, to make a list of those as well and to make sure that you really are in touch with them. So I know I have a list, and actually, I have to say that my daughter gave me the idea. Because she told me that she has a list, and I just took the idea and I'm sharing it with you, of all the people that she wants to check in on during this war. And it could be someone who has a son in Miluim. It could be someone who has someone in the hospital. It could be someone who has uh, um, a loved one that's been kidnapped. It doesn't matter. For you, having that list, and again, it's creating a system. You see, it's all back to, okay, my mind is going to go to, oh, what about this one? What about this one? So instead of being caught up in the middle of the day or middle of the night with, I didn't speak to this one, I didn't call this one, just having a list. And again, I'm not creating fancy spreadsheets. I'm just taking my phone and creating a list on my phone, right? It has to be easy. We're not talking about using softwares and all that, but just creating a list of the people you want to check in on and just saying those people every day. I want to go over the list and I just want to make sure they're okay. Sending a WhatsApp, sending a message, right? So this is going to not only, of course, help the people that are going to receive the message, because every message is important. It could be a phone call. It could be that you go and check on them, go visit them. That's up to you. But it's also a way for you to, instead of thinking about it all the time, the whole day in the back of your mind and not being able to concentrate. Again, we're here to focus. So we're not able to concentrate because we have all those things going on in our mind. So instead of just being victim or passive, we're saying, okay, those people are important for me. I want to know how they are. So I'm going to, every day when I get up, by the way, for me at least, it's part of my routine. So you can add this in your routine. It's a war routine that you check in on the people that you love, on the people that you care. And that is a way for you to structure. Again, we're not saying do it without emotion, doing like a robot and just do V and I sent the message. No, you do it with emotion, but at least you have circled the time that it's going to happen. You define, okay, it's going to happen every day at 9 or every day at 9:30. I'm going to look at my phone, go through and say, oh, this one I already sent a message. This one I know this one I'm going to talk, this one. Now, this is for your personal contacts. And again, I'm just telling you what I'm doing, and you can take it or not. But for your business contacts, it's really important not to lose touch. And I know that it's difficult because we have a hard time being in a relationship right now. We have a hard time talking to people. We don't know what to say. It's a difficult time. We don't want to repeat all the time the same thing. So it doesn't have to be to talk to them. It could be just a message. But it's really important. Just yesterday, we were in our interview with Leslie Kaplan. She was saying how she received an email from a supplier, a few days, I think it was the first week of the war, saying, please pay. She was supposed to pay some kind of bill. And said, no problem, I'll pay the bills, but just ask me how I am. How are you? We know it's difficult. Like, just have this thought of connection. And now we do it naturally with the people that we have to be in touch with. But I want you to make that extra special effort for the people that you're not naturally in contact with. So again, your past clients, your past suppliers, your past team members, everyone, your past strategic partners, everyone that you've been in touch with. So either you check in on them because they might be also in a difficult situation if they're in Israel or around the world, or you let them know how you are doing, right? So it doesn't have to be a long message. Now, the reason why this is important again is because when we do this, we position ourselves as leader of our business and as leader of our lives, right? So we took care of everything that we had to. We structured our day, we did our routine, we took care of ourselves, we took care of our loved ones, and now we're looking at the next step, like what's further away. I started from very close and I'm going the next step before I can even go on to social media or promotion or what am I selling, because those people have been with you on your journey and they need to feel the connection not only when you need them or when they need you, but also in those times. Those are the people that we might not think about to reach out. Now, I know that, for example, I've reached out to my past clients and I've offered a half an hour support free call. Why? Because those people worked with me in the past, and they have questions and they have anxiety, like everyone that fears, and I've had a few people that reached out and scheduled their call. And the reason is because you feel more familiar with someone that you worked with before, right? So, of course, it could be that I say, "Oh, it's my past client." Like, it's not, they can reach out if they need to. But by being proactive and by offering that is a way for you to stay the leader that you are, even in those times where things are shaky and you don't know where you are. But at least the people around you, you are actually showing the way by reaching out, by checking in, by sending a message, by just saying, "Hey, I hope you're okay." Before and tomorrow, that's my introduction to say that tomorrow we'll talk about social media. Social media is a big piece, and I want to talk about it separately because there are so many aspects of social media, whether it's your own emotion or whether it's explaining what's happening or answering people's comments, feeling that you want to stand with Israel if you want to say something or not, saying that you're Jewish if you're not in Israel. How do you position yourself with everything that's happening? And then how do you start promoting? How do you start? What I say promoting is how do you start talking about your content, your product, your services, and how do you start showing up? Social media is basically like if we were, until now, we were inside our house, taking care of ourselves and our, own domain. Now we're saying like, talk to the people that are just a little bit outside of your domain and the people that you were in touch with. And then social media is going to, like we said, the third circle, and that I want to speak about tomorrow, because that is something where not only we have to position ourselves and we have to know what is our position or not. We'll talk about that. But you also have your image and you also have what people think of you. And so social media has a role of not only letting you express what you have to say, but also being seen. Okay, so there's a whole psychology around it that I want to talk about tomorrow, and some of it is good, not, and some of it we have to know about, and some of it we have to measure. How much of it we want, but that is what we'll talk about tomorrow. So to recap. And again, I'm happy to answer any questions. If you have a specific question on your business, type it in the chat. And whether it's live, I'll do it now, or if it's in the replay, tag me and I'll answer your specific question. But today we spoke about the circle of influence, how to basically stay at the center of who we are after we've taken care of ourselves, our loved ones, our day, our time, and everything we have to do. How do we start opening up to the world and taking care of everyone that we know in the order of closeness, right? So the first people that we know, the existing clients, are everyone that we are in contact with in our business, picking up the phone, being proactive, sending messages. And then the past clients or the past suppliers or past strategic partners that you might not be in touch with now, but this is the time to really reconnect with them and to check in on them and say, hey, I hope you're okay. And tomorrow we'll speak about how do we position ourselves in a broader audience, and how do we position ourselves on social media, and with people that don't necessarily know us but see us when we have that kind of exposure. I want to remind you before we end this daily live that tonight we have our weekly support meetup, like every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Israel time. And I will put the link to register in the comments. So if you need either to network with other women, or to feel the support, or to connect with other women from all over the world, from Israel and all over the world. And also, we have a few experts, including me, who are going to facilitate breakout rooms where you'll be able to get the help that you need. I will facilitate a breakout room on business, talking about answering your questions. If you have a specific question, you want to have that one-on-one laser coaching, you can come in those weekly meetups. And we'll have other experts that will be here to speak about emotional support to help you go through this difficult period. And then tomorrow we'll be back at 10 a.m. Israel time for the daily live. And we'll also have an interview at 6 p.m. As you know, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, I have an interview where I highlight a specific initiative. Tomorrow we'll speak about an initiative of helping women in Israel who need a job because their husband is in Miluim, or because of the war, or because they've been laid off because of what's happening. And they want to, offer their services as virtual assistants to entrepreneurs, to people like you. And so we'll talk about that with a lady who is actually in touch with all those women, and we will do the connection with people in the global network who might want to hire VAs. So we're doing what we can to help. There are so many initiatives going around. Everyone needs to stay focused into what they know how to do. I know how to support entrepreneurs, and that's what I'm trying to do. I hope it's helping. Type in the chat if you, again, have any questions, or if you want to suggest a topic for a live. That's also something that I'll take into consideration. Until then, I hope to see you tonight in the weekly meetup. And if not, then stay safe anyway. And I hope that I will see you tomorrow for another daily life. Stay safe, everyone.